The rise of a fearless advocate, a motivational story. In a small town surrounded by dusty roads and old markets lived a young man named Araz Khan. His father was a tailor who worked long hours to earn enough for the family, and his mother stitched clothes at home to support him. Life was simple, but not easy. Yet, one thing that made Araz different was his dream. He wanted to become an advocate who fought for people who had no voice. Ever since he was a child, whenever he heard someone being mistreated or cheated, he felt an intense fire inside him. He often said, "Someday I will stand in a courtroom, and no injustice will escape my voice." People laughed. Some said he was too poor. Some said the law was only for the rich. Some even said, "Lawyer Bana Asan Nai Hota, Beta." But Araz wasn't the type to give up. The struggle begins. When Araz finished school, he applied for law college in the city. The fees were too high. His father looked at him with sadness. "Araz, I want to send you. But I can't afford this." Araz placed his hand on his father's shoulder. "Abu, don't worry. I will do it myself." He moved to the city with only one bag, a few clothes, and the confidence of a lion. He worked part-time in a small restaurant at night and attended classes during the day. Sometimes he slept only 3 hours. Sometimes he skipped meals. But he never skipped his dreams. His classmates came in cars and wore branded clothes. He came on foot and often carried second-hand books. But in the classroom, something magical happened. Araz topped every subject. His professors began noticing him. Other students started respecting him. But life doesn't give victories so easily. Star emoji, the failure that broke him. In his final year, Araz entered a national debate competition. The winner would get a full scholarship for higher legal training. Araz worked for weeks, practicing every night until sunrise. On the day of the competition, he gave the best speech of his life, confident, sharp, fearless. But he lost by 1 point. Not because he was wrong, but because one of the judges happened to be the uncle of another contestant. The result was unfair. That night Araz broke down. He sat alone in a hostile corridor and said, "Why does injustice happen to the people who fight against injustice?" He decided he didn't want to continue. He wanted to quit law. Quit the dream. Quit everything. But then something unexpected happened. A stranger with a lesson. The old security guard of the college, who had seen him sitting there for hours, approached him. "Beta, you know why people like you suffer?" Araz looked up silently. "Because the world fears anyone who refuses to bow down. A warrior is tested before victory. The day you stop fighting, that day injustice wins." These simple words shook his heart. Araz stood up, wiped his tears, and promised himself, "I will return stronger. I will fight. I will become the voice others don't have." His journey continued. Star emoji, the first case. After graduating, Araz struggled to find clients. No one trusted a young lawyer. He waited outside courtrooms with nothing but hope. Days turned into weeks. Weeks into months. Then one morning, a poor woman approached him. Her son had been falsely accused of theft. No lawyer wanted the case because they wouldn't be paid. "Beta, can you help my son? We have no one else." Araz looked at her tired eyes and said, "I will fight for him." He took the case for free. The courtroom was full that day. No one expected the new young advocate to win. The opposing lawyer was experienced, powerful, and well-connected. But when Araz stood up, his voice shook the entire room. He presented evidence, questioned witnesses with courage, and revealed flaws in the police investigation. For the first time, people saw the fire he carried inside him. At the end, the judge declared, "The accused is innocent." The mother cried and held Araz's hands. People began whispering, "This new lawyer, he's something else." That case changed everything. when success created enemies. In just 1 year, Ares became known for winning cases that others avoided. He fought for poor shopkeepers, wrongfully accused laborers, and victims of land fraud. But the more he fought, the more enemies he made, especially among corrupt businessmen and officers. One evening, he received a threatening message. "Stop interfering, or you will regret it." His family begged him to quit such dangerous cases. But Ares simply replied, "If I quit, who will stand up for them?" This fearlessness made him a symbol of justice. Star emoji, the biggest case of his life. A powerful landlord had illegally taken land from dozens of villagers. Everyone was too scared to fight him. Anyone who complained disappeared or was beaten. When the villagers came to Ares, they were trembling. "Sir, he is dangerous. No one will help us." Ares said, "He may have power, but I have the truth." He filed a case. That decision shook the entire district. The landlord tried everything. Pressure, threats, bribes, even political influence. But Ares didn't break. In court, he presented satellite images, forged documents, and witness testimonies. The case continued for months. Every hearing was a battle. One day, the landlord confronted him outside the courtroom. "You're just a boy. You can't defeat me." Ares looked straight into his eyes and replied, "A boy with truth is stronger than a man with power." After 6 long months, the court gave the judgment. The land must be returned to the villagers. The landlord is sentenced for fraud and intimidation. Journalists captured the moment. Villagers lifted Ares on their shoulders. The whole town celebrated him as a hero. But for Ares, the victory was something else. It wasn't fame. It wasn't money. It was the moment when one old villager held his hand and said, "Beta, tum sir floyer nai. Ala ka remato." Star emoji, the realization. That night, as he walked home, Ares realized something extraordinary. He had fulfilled his childhood dream. He had become the advocate he always wanted to be. A warrior of justice, a shield for the helpless, a voice for the voiceless. His struggle, his pain, his sacrifices. They all turned into strength. He looked at the sky and whispered, "Thank you for giving me resilience when I had nothing else." Star emoji, the lesson of the story. Ares' journey teaches us. You don't need money to dream big. You don't need support to rise. What you need is courage that refuses to die. Life will break you, test you, and push you down. But every failure makes you sharper. Every struggle makes you stronger. And every setback prepares you for a comeback. Real heroes are not born. They are shaped in the fire of difficulties. And like the young advocate Ares Khan, anyone who refuses to give up will eventually stand victorious.